What can audiences expect with this new adventure?
I think audiences are just going to have the same kind of fun that they've had with a lot of the other Ice Age movies. It's a rollicking good time. We're going to see Crash and Eddie, who are some of our more dynamic characters, mixing it up with Buck, who is arguably one of the most wild characters that we have in the franchise, going on a wild adventure together. And we're also going to get a chance to kind of get to know Buck a little bit more, and Crash and Eddie, as we get to spend more time with them and unravel a little bit more about what makes them tick. And pairing Buck against Z, this new character, who's every bit his equal in many ways, challenges him in ways that he isn't normally challenged in our movies. So we're going to really get to know Buck quite well in this one.
All right. We'll do this one in a two-parter. Why did you decide to build the film around Buck Wild?
Okay. You know, ever since we had Buck appear in Dawn of the Dinosaurs, audiences just fell in love with him, and we fell in love with him because he's just such a larger than life, lovable, colorful character. He's joyful, he's wacky, he's eccentric. He lives in a world of dinosaurs. He talks to rocks and has relationships with tree stumps. I mean, he's just a really raucous character, and he's a guardian of the lost world. He's a swashbuckling hero. I mean, it felt like he's the character to build a film around. It made it very easy and a very easy decision for us to choose Buck to be the center focal point of this movie.
What is it about his character that makes him so appealing to fans and audiences?
I think people love Buck so much because he's just such a swashbuckling, adventurous character. He's unpredictable and a little bit nuts. But the great thing about him is he's always so loyal. He's got this heart that is like bigger than life. And he's just the kind of character that you're going to want to go on an adventure with. The typical hero that just takes you on this great adventure.
Perfect. All right, next question, please. Tell us about the Lost World. What is it about the Lost World that makes it the perfect setting for much of the film?
The Lost World is an amazing world that we introduced in Dawn of the Dinosaur, and we actually created a mythology for it in Collision Course a little later on, and it really is the idea that dinosaurs didn't necessarily all go extinct with the fall of the asteroid, and some of them actually went underground and were able to survive, and that's what the Lost World is all about. It's a lost world of dinosaurs, which is pretty magnificent for us to be able to go back to a place and time that's kind of stood still, but also evolved at the same time a little bit. So the Lost World is an incredibly fantastical place. The point that we introduce it now is that since that time of Dawn of the Dinosaurs and Collision Course, mammals have now moved down there. So Buck is not the only mammal there. There are other mammals that have been there for a while, and that's the whole point of this movie, is to show the idea that Buck and Z, his counterpart and perfect equal, who are guardians of the Lost World, for them to create a place of harmony between the dinosaurs and the mammals. And that's sort of the gist of the story in this movie, that they're trying to protect it and make all the species get along. And of course, we have a villain who doesn't want that to happen, who thinks dinosaurs belong in the Lost World and not mammals. So that's one of the reasons why I think the setting is perfect for the film. And it's also a really magical place. And I don't mean magic like there are magic spells. I mean magic in that we've never seen things like that. There are carnivorous plants. Buck has relationships with rocks and all kinds of things in there. They're dangerous, perilous places that, that are your life is at stake by just going to some of these places. And having adventures in that world and exploring new parts of that world is really what we wanted to do. And I still want to do it. I don't think I've seen enough of it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a ripe environment to create spaces which don't exist in reality. It's a bit of a fantastical place. I mean, it's so much fun to see Buck and Crash and Eddie flying on the back of a pterodactyl, you know, and being chased by raptors, or going into crazy jungly areas or inside trees and logs and things. It's just a really fun, fantastic place to go.
What can you tell us about the new characters of Orson and Z? What did they bring to the story?
Why don't you go ahead, John?
Sure. Okay. In bringing Orson to life, I mean, Orson is this villain who lives in the lost world and believes that dinosaurs should be king. Dinosaurs should be, you know, the lead species down there, and he, being the smartest one, is the natural leader. He should be the king of the lost world. So he takes it upon himself to like be its ruler. And this is in contrast to Buck, who feels that it should be an idyllic place, a place where everybody can be united and share in the joys and wonders of the place. And so that puts them in natural conflict. But what I love about Orson so much is that he's a character that has just got a giant ego, and but he's paired with a couple of sidekicks that are as dumb as they come. And so this just drives him crazy. So this is just a really fun dynamic to have with the character. So it makes him both villainous and comedic. And I love those two combinations together. As far as Z goes, Z is a character that is from Buck's sort of past that we didn't know about prior. And she is like Buck in that she wants to protect the lost world and create a place of unity. She's got a just cause. So she's every bit as daring and capable and athletic as Buck is. She's graceful and powerful. She's just grounded in reality a bit more. And she also, like Buck, wants to create this place that's safe for everyone. But they have some history that they have to work through, and some friendship issues that makes for a very interesting story for Buck and Z to navigate through.
How does it feel to have the entire Ice Age collection available now on Disney Plus?
It's an awesome feeling to know that people, like new generations of kids, are going to be able to watch Ice Age from the beginning through to this new film. And it's kind of it's been a long journey for us, but it's so rewarding, and I feel, you know, a lot of pride that people are actually going to be able to watch it. They've watched it, you know, since the beginning, and it's great that new people will be able to see it. And again, families love the show and they watch it together, and I think that's always a plus, isn't it?
I'll add to this one too. So, you know, one of the great things that we all experience, especially in these times, is this idea that we want to binge on something. So it's pretty amazing to have all of the whole Ice Age canon available to sit down and watch. And the great thing is too, that you can watch it with the whole family. You know, you can sit down, it's going to be safe for your younger child. It's going to be fun for teens and adults and grandparents. It's really can be a family affair. And the great thing about it is, like I said, you can have a whole Ice Age day if you want, and just watch the whole thing from beginning to end. Watch them again. It's really cool to be able to see the evolution of the characters and follow them in the way, and then have it bring you to our most current story. I think would be really fun for everybody to watch.